Hello, everyone. How are you doing? My name is Wendy Myers of MyersDetox.com. Thank you so much for joining the broadcast today. I'm here every Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And if you miss any part of this replay, you can watch it again on my Facebook channel, facebook.com/MyersDetox, or you can check it out on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Wendy Myers. So thanks for tuning in. Today, we're going to be talking about broccoli sprouts because I don't think people realize what potent antivirals broccoli sprouts are, how many benefits that they have. I'm going to show you how to grow them today. And also, this is a great thing to think about having fresh food while you're on lockdown. And so I have every different kind of seed. I have so many different kinds of seeds that I grow. I'm going to show you how easy they are to grow at home, and just gives you lots of tips and tricks on, the benefits of broccoli and other types of sprouts and how to grow them. It's super, super easy. So you guys don't forget. So I want you to leave me all of your questions, all of your anything, any comments. Just leave them in the comments section below, and I will answer them when I'm done talking with you guys. So I just want to make sure that I'm on here correctly. So great. So we're going to cover kind of the seeds that I have. I have all these different broccoli seeds here. So these are my seeds that you guys can see here. And I got these on Amazon. There's still tons and tons on Amazon. And look at all these seeds. This is tons of food. I mean, this is not that expensive. Broccoli sprouts are a little bit more expensive than other types of sprouts, but usually like a whole pound of seeds cost about $24 or $25. That's going to last you for at least a year. I mean, if you're eating sprouts constantly. So this lasts a really, really long time. And any of the sprouts that I don't eat, then I just end up putting in my garden, and I have broccoli growing, and I'm like, oh my God, how did that happen? They grow really easy. The broccoli is really, really hardy. And I grew a broccoli plant, and I ate some fresh broccoli in a stir fry, and I was so happy. But more importantly, broccoli sprouts are incredibly nutritious. There are hundreds and hundreds of studies on the benefits of broccoli sprouts. And so, number one, they're amazing for immunity. And I'm going to go over a few of the benefits here. So broccoli sprouts are really rich in sulphurophane. And this is an amazing detoxifying compound that kills harmful pathogens. It keeps your cells really strong, even when they're under stress. And broccoli sprouts are shown in the research to protect you from viruses by turning on your immune system. And this sulphurophane in the broccoli sprouts activates natural killer cells, your white blood cells. These are cells that seek out and destroy viruses. And they exhibit really high viral activity, in the sulphurophane. And the sulphurophane in broccoli sprouts also turns on what's called NRF2. It's a gene that keeps your lungs safe from infection and reduces lung inflammation. So this is really, really key right now. And also, there's so many benefits. I mean, forget the viral and immunity benefits. There's so many more benefits. So I actually wrote an article on my site called The Top 20 Benefits of Broccoli Sprouts. And I'm just going to share that with you right now so you guys can check this out. So top 20 benefits of broccoli sprouts. So we'll just make sure that you guys can see that. So show and stream. And and so here we go. So here's the top 20 benefits of broccoli sprouts. So many to list here. So the first one is it supports phase 2 liver detoxification. So that part of your liver where you're taking out the trash. Phase 1 is where you're breaking down the trash, breaking it down into compounds that the body can then remove. And so this supports phase 2 liver detox. Really important to broccoli sprouts help to make glutathione in the body, which is the body's master antioxidant to take the garbage out. And then it increases glutathione activity, glutathione support, like I just mentioned. Really vital compound to help remove toxins like heavy metals and chemicals. Number 3, it turns on cell protective genes. It also helps protect against traumatic brain injuries. And you can see I cite all the research, everything I'm saying here. I can cite all this research about how it helps to improve cognitive function after traumatic brain injury. We see number 5, it activates genes that fight inflammatory disease, heart disease, and things like that. And it helps with kidney disease, lung disease, diabetes, inflammatory bowel disease. These are really powerful foods that we're talking about in sprouts. Number 6, protects your eyes from oxidative damage. We can look at protects against Parkinson's disease, brain degeneration. Number 8, broccoli sprouts support a healthy gut and it enhances antioxidant systems in your gut, healing oxidative stress, inhibits the overgrowth of harmful bacteria in your gut. One group of volunteers with constipation, it improved their constipation and bowel function. Protects against different types of cancers, bladder cancers, supports joint health because it reduces inflammation and therefore pain, helps with your central nervous system, detoxification of airborne pollutants, improves liver function in various ways, helps, let's see, what else? Protects against H. pylori, which is an overgrowth of a gut bacteria that's in our stomach, and may protect against autoimmune disease, and helps with neuroinflammation, brain inflammation, just so many different benefits. Restores cellular immunity without those NRF2 mediated pathways, helps to improve those, turn them on. Also helps to combat obesity. Broccoli sprouts are shown to increase the amount of brown fat that we have that burns more calories than regular white adipose tissue. And so just, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. I mean, there are over 700 articles that show the benefits of broccoli sprouts. So you want to, how to get more, let's talk about how to get more broccoli sprouts in your diet here. So let me turn that off. So let's just see, let's hide that right now. Okay, cool. So let's talk about how to grow these sprouts. So this is what I do at home. And so are you guys on with me? Are you guys here? For some reason, I can't see how many people are joined with us here. Okay, great. So if you guys have any comments or questions whatsoever, just please leave any comments and questions. So number 1, so here are the broccoli sprouts. So what I do is I have a machine. It's called the Easy Green Machine. So I'll give you guys the link right here. So to grow broccoli sprouts, you can do one of 2 things. So you can either buy a sprouter, or you can also grow the sprouts in these little jars. So if you have a jar right here, you know, any kind of mason jar, this is a honey jar, any of these will totally work. And so this is fine. And all you do is you take this, you put the seeds in this little jar here and the top of the lid. And so you just pour them in here, just like a little handful, just kind of cover the bottom. And then you water it. And then you put the lid right here on. And you just make sure you water them a few times a day. It keeps it nice and warm and humid in there. And voila, in 3 to 5 days, you have some broccoli sprouts. The only downside to this method is that it's very easy to grow fungus. And so you probably want to spray it with some hydrogen peroxide. Even still, sometimes you have to kind of get the hang of it. And so you have to be aware of fungal growth when you're growing sprouts. And so that you need some help maybe aerating it. You can also put some cotton down on the bottom to give a little bit of medium, like a little pad of cotton to give a little medium for the little roots to grab a hold of. But you don't have to do that. And so what I like is what I'm using right now. It's called an Easy Green. And I'll show you guys my little setup here. I'm going to share my screen again. And here is the Easy Green machine. And let me just make sure you guys can see this. Show in stream. There we go. Yeah, and so this is my little machine. It's so cute. I love this thing because I'm growing food constantly with this. So you can see this is the 5 little trays that I use, and I'll grow 5 different sprouts at a time. I always have a batch of broccoli sprouts growing. But I have all kinds of sprouts that I grow. And here's a little machine here. And it's pretty big. I mean, it sits on top of my washing machine. And here's kind of the side view. And you kind of put the water in this back reservoir. And you have to fill up the water every day. Fill it up every day. And then you can also put a few drops of hydrogen peroxide in there. You can put some minerals in there that help, the minerals make it grow, make it more nutritious. And this is a great way to have fresh food while you're on lockdown. Because I don't know about you guys, but I went this weekend to do some grocery shopping and having it delivered. And I couldn't get any groceries delivered. And I was kind of going, wow, that's stressful. That's disconcerting. And I'm hearing reports that people like go to the store, they can't get any eggs, they can't get any milk. Of course, vegetables are in pretty good supply for most places because not as many people eat those. But for a lot of supplies, people are having a tough time getting them, or they, like me, I'm not going anywhere near a store. Like, I'm sorry, I'm not leaving my house just to be precautious. And, I haven't been sick in like 2 years or more, 2.5 years. So I don't plan to get COVID-19 because I don't want that. So I'm just taking every precaution. And, I don't want to go to the store and expose myself. That's where everyone is going. Everyone's going to the grocery store. So that's where you can potentially get exposed. So for me, this is an amazing option. So I can grow fresh cilantro. I can grow micro lettuces. I can grow my broccoli sprouts. I can grow onion sprouts. I can grow garlic sprouts. And onion sprouts are delicious. I love those in little burritos. I can sprout mung beans, which are delicious. I can sprout pea shoots and put those in salads. I mean, the options are really just endless. And so, so I just love them. And so let's go back to this little machine here. And so, this machine's like a couple $100. It's a little bit of an investment. And when I first bought mine, I was kind of like, ew. I didn't really want to do that investment, but I did. And I'm really happy that I did. But, push comes to shove, you can just do it in a jar. Like, seriously, folks, it's that easy to just grow your sprouts in a little jar like this. Everyone's got little jars, mason jars, and old food jars that you sterilize first and then grow your sprouts in them. And so some of the other sprouts that I have here are, you can go on Amazon, you can get these little sampler packs of sprouts. I really like Sprout House. They have a lot of organic sprouts. So you want to make sure you're getting organic, because if they're not organic, they can be radiated. They can be preserved in formaldehyde. They could be sprayed with pesticides and things like that. So you just want to go spend a little bit more money and get organic. Sometimes it's the same price for different products. And so this is a spicy lettuce microgreens. So you can grow little microgreens. And I'm planning to actually go the next level. After growing my sprouts, I'm going to buy a little hydroponic system. And I'm about to get that. You can get them on Walmart for like $100, where you can grow all different types of lettuces. You can grow herbs without any dirt. You just put it in like plant the little sprouts that you do on the Easy Green and plant them, and you can just have some minerals in the water, and you can have food growing and have fresh food really, really quickly. So that's my little plan. I've been wanting to do this for a long time anyway. So this is just kind of pushing me to do these things that I've always wanted to do, to grow food at home and have like a little homestead where I'm growing my own food. I know it's safe and whatnot. So this is kind of the bright side. It's, I think, propelling a lot of people to think out of the box, how to produce their own food or how to procure months worth of foods. So, and I'm just being precautious, just to be on the safe side. So I have radish sprouts. So these are just red radish sprouts. They're really pretty. They're like a purple red, and radishes are full of folate. They're so, so delicious for you. And they're bitter food. They help produce digestive juices. And then I have organic alfalfa sprouts. These are the typical sprouts you get at like any grocery store. They always have alfalfa sprouts because they're really cheap. Not my favorite, but they came in a sampler pack. Then I got these red clover. Red clover is incredibly nutritious, incredibly nutritious. So these are fantastic. And yeah, so Oksana, so yeah, you can you can just put like a few drops of food grade hydrogen peroxide in the water. Because the food grade is like that 30% hydrogen peroxide is really strong. So I only do it once when I'm doing a batch of sprouts. And here's my little trays for my sprouts. It's pretty big. So so I'll grow like 5 different varieties of sprouts, and sometimes I'll do it half. Like this half is alfalfa and this half is radish sprouts or whatever. You don't have to put one seed throughout the entire tray. But for that batch, I'll just put a few drops of hydrogen, food grade hydrogen peroxide, and that's enough to kind of kill off any fungus that might be in there. And so the next one here is these are fenugreek. I've never grown the fenugreek ones. It's still unopened, but I plan to try it one day to get some variety. Try those. And then we have some adzuki beans. These are really delicious. You can sprout these and put them in salads or just eat them as a super nutritious snack. And then we have, hard wheat. So these we can grow wheat sprouts, but maybe not for those people that don't like wheat. Came in my little, pack, all right? My little mix pack. Okay, and French lentils. You can sprout some lentils and have those in your salad. Really delicious. And then garbanzo beans, you can sprout garbanzo beans and make hummus out of them. Nothing better than raw hummus with sprouted garbanzo beans. Oh my God. Mix it with some cilantro and whatnot. It's really delicious. Then daikon radish. These are some of my favorite ones. These are kind of big seeds, but these grow. And I have some daikon radishes growing in my backyard. They're really hardy. They grow really easy. They're these huge, long, white radishes. Really mild, really delicious. The sprouts are kind of pungent and spicy, but I really like them in tacos. I put them in salads. I try to incorporate sprouts in every meal that I eat. So I get just some raw food. I get, just really concentrated nutrition. Because for instance, broccoli sprouts. So broccoli sprouts contain up to 100 times more nutrition than actual broccoli. And a lot of people you guys are eating broccoli because of its nutrient value and the fiber and whatnot, health benefits. But broccoli sprouts have up to 100 times that. I mean, it's just mind-boggling because the amount of nutrients in the seed are what are needed to get that whole plant to an adulthood. So they're very, very nutrient dense as a result. And then whatever, say, for instance, you have some of your sprouts you're not eating, they're kind of going bad fast, which happens. If you're growing a lot, it's hard to eat all of them. So I will plant them in the backyard. I'll usually have an interim. Sometimes I've experimented with different things. Different plants are hardier than others. So some of them I'll plant them directly in the soil in the backyard and wish you the best of luck. May the best man win. And some of them I'll put in kind of like a little shallow pod and really shelter them from sun and give them, really kind of baby them so they get a little bit bigger and then plant them in the garden. So I'm just kind of experimenting with that and seeing what works. And then the next thing here, mung beans. Mung beans are some of my favorites. These are so delicious. They're kind of sweet when they're sprouted. I love these, absolutely. But I think my favorite sprout is mustard seed sprouts. And so those are amazing. They have B17 in them, which is an amazing cancer fighting component. And I love mustard greens. I'm from Texas. I grew up where we had mustard greens in my garden all the time. We had mustard greens a couple of times a week for dinner. My mom would grow them. And in Texas, you can get them in the grocery store, but you can't here. So I like to grow mustard greens, and they're so delicious. They're super delicious. They're real spicy, kind of like wasabi, and you can stew them or braise them, kind of like greens, like collard greens or whatnot. And they're really, really delicious. So for me, I grow foods that I can't necessarily get in the stores, or they're pretty expensive because they're kind of exotic. So it's $3 to $5 for like a little tiny thing of them, when you can buy a gigantic 1 pound bag for 20 organic broccoli sprouts for $25 on Amazon, and you're good to go for a year or more. with that investment. And so really, if you're into sprouts and you're interested in health, you can really save a lot of money just by growing your own sprouts and have fresh food on lockdown. So like I said, you can grow cilantro. You can have micro cilantro. You can have microgreens if you buy these little lettuce mixes. And in 4 or 5 days, have fresh greens that you can make little salads out of if you can't get them at the store. So really, really important to start kind of thinking out of the box with all this stuff. And so that's pretty much it. So, also with growing these sprouts, what I like about the Easy Green is it automatically waters them. So it waters them 5 times a day. And I'll go back to the little, my little screen share here with the Easy Green. So it's super, super simple to do here. And so the Easy Green here has this water reservoir, and you have to fill it up about every day, every other day, because it's watering the sprouts down here every 5 times a day. And you just plug it in, you put it on a little timer, and it's really easy directions. You just have 5 sections a day where it waters them, and everything's done automatically. So with a jar, you have to take the jar out and spray it a few times a day and do it manually. Not the end of the world. But if you want to kind of get a little farm going here and rotating a bunch of different products, even sunflower sprouts, like black seed oil sunflower sprouts are super delicious too. I forgot about those. So this is just a really easy way to get the job done. This does take a considerable amount of counter space. I just have it on top of my washing machine in the garage, so it's not noisy, and it's just, kind of you have like a little drainage tube, and that can go right in this same drainage tube as the water from the washing machine goes out with. So that's just in my home, the right place for it. You can put it outside if you want, outside in the backyard. It doesn't have to go on a kitchen countertop or anything like that. And there's different ones on Amazon. There's tons of sprouters on Amazon. You don't have to get this one. This is just what I use. So there's lots and lots of options out there. And yeah, and I enjoy growing my own food. It's very, very satisfying. And so, like I said, they get watered 5 times a day. In 3 to 5 days, you have sprouts ready to eat. And you can just, put those in your fridge, preserve them a little bit longer in the fridge. I just take the tray here like that and put it in my fridge, and they're good to eat for like a week or so. And it's also good because if you're buying sprouts in the store, I was always really disappointed because the sprouts, by the time you're in the store and you discover them to purchase them, they're old. They're yellowing. Whereas the sprouts at home, they're always bright, fresh green. I can eat them like they're still alive. They're still growing, and I can eat them much more fresh. They're going to have much more nutrients. The longer a food is sitting around, the more the nutrients degrade. And so for me, I want to eat the food while it's still alive. And so I just got to the point where I just wasn't satisfied any longer with the sprouts I was getting at the grocery store, because they're just almost to the point where for me, they're inedible because they're not fresh. They're already yellowing. So if you guys are, kind of wanting the best for yourself, it's best to just grow them. And so for any of you guys that are kind of like, yeah, that sounds great, but you're just not really feeling terribly motivated. I created a product called Daily Detox, because I know there's a lot of you guys out there that don't want to grow your own broccoli sprouts or go to the trouble or the initial investment. And so that's why I created this Daily Detox supplement. It's got fermented broccoli sprouts in it, which releases the sulphurophane. And so the fermentation process helps to kind of break down all the nutrients in the broccoli sprouts even further. And what ends up happening is that, you eliminate the need for enzymes and gut bacteria in your body to convert a nutrient in this. It's called glucoraphanin. that's in broccoli sprouts, and the fermentation helps to break it down into the sulphurophane, which is really that magic ingredient in the broccoli sprouts. And the sulphurophane is naturally liberated, providing you with a really potent bioavailable dose of this powerhouse nutrient. So this is about 8% fermented broccoli sprouts. And there's a lot of other nutrients in it that support liver function. Broccoli sprouts really key for liver function, among other benefits, immunity and whatnot. And so, you've got other really like immune powerhouses in this. You've got fermented ginger that are in this. It really helps to reduce inflammation, improving symptoms of arthritis. It really helps the cell deal with damaging foreign compounds. There's lots of research that shows that the fermented ginger is, really helps your immune system protect you from damaging toxins or viral invaders. And really also it contains moringa, skullcap, and schizandra, which are antivirals as well. And the moringa in this protects, in the research, we're showing that it protects from viruses, from the common flu to even HIV. There's a lot of research that show that moringa helps with that. And the study results from one of the studies I cited in an article that I wrote were so impressive. The World Health Organization marked moringa as a plant worth investigating further in more research. And moringa also protects lung cells from respiratory viruses like the flu, and also prevents fibroid formation that can lead to permanent lung scarring as well. So that's kind of what's happening with this current viral outbreak. There's this fibroids, or the scarring in the lungs happening, that's damaging the lungs where they can't work properly, and people feel like they're gasping for breath and choking. So the moringa can really help with that. And then also there's Chinese skullcap, and this helps to kill mold, detoxes mold toxins. And skullcap is also rich in bioacalin. It's a powerful antiviral that prevents viruses from entering the cells and inhibits enzymes that the viruses need to survive as well. So there's lots of research on that also. And then schizandra, Daily Detox also has this. It's an adaptogenic berry from China. And it's a staple of traditional Chinese medicine for a long, long time, millennia. And it's been the subject of more than 1,100 scientific studies. And it finds that, or these studies find that schizandra strengthens your immune response, helping you fight off infection and viruses. And schizandra also protects against things that damage your immune system function, like radiation as well. And that those bioflavonoids can really help to absorb radiation and protect your body from them. And schizandra also balances cortisol release and adrenal function. I don't know about you guys, definitely releasing a lot of cortisol and adrenaline, waking up to all the, the latest news alerts, the latest things that are happening. And so, just really on that cortisol night train. I'm trying not to read the news at night because I find I just get kind of, feeling a little bit stressed and anxious, and that's kind of not what we want before we go to bed. It's hard not to have these emotional, but so